Welcome back, folks. Cape Rugby TV. We carry on talking about club rugby. And of course, well, you can see our current thread is at the moment chatting with clubs that are finding different ways to keep their players engaged, keep talking to their members, keep talking to their community. And that's the content that we're trying to share with you, to show you that many of the clubs out there are in fact still busy talking to their members. And of course, at the moment, we know that a lot of the clubs are in fact looking at using their field facilities to offer training opportunity for the players, even if they're not training to get ready for a match. Some of the clubs are giving the opportunity for their players to get on the field and do a little bit of fitness and stay healthy. Gino Topley is from Titans Rugby Football Club, no stranger to Cape Rugby TV. Gino, welcome back. How are you?
Hi, good to be back, JP. Thanks again for the opportunity for the club as well. But no, everything's good on our side. Hope everything is good on your side as well.
Yeah, I suppose we keep saying one day at a time. We keep waiting to see what who's doing what. But it's great for us to be chatting with you again. I think the last time we spoke to you, you were busy with the outreach project and preparing for another noodle run. Activity at Titans still continuing?
As always, yes, JP, it's something we can't do well. I can't sit still. It's something that I can't do. So I affect a lot of others doing the exact same thing. But yeah, no, training-wise, starting fully, let's say by next month, we'll have most of the guys back on training. But at the moment, we have little groups coming up. The guys are still at home doing their little thing. It's not all about rugby, like you said in the introduction, as well as that. It comes along with the mentality of people as well. Some of us can't do without it. Some of us can. But yeah, to keep the guys entertained, let's say that. But we keep the gates open. We let them do what they need to do, and the coaches are available all the time.
You've come up with a couple of one or two, at least, if one looks at the type of training activity that you're able to do. I mean, you've got a big field. There's a lot of wide open space. Players are, at the very least, able to run.
Oh, yes. You know, we have little groups now training, be it 6 to 8 people. They have a field to go wild on. At the moment, last week, we concentrated mainly on the backline players, getting their skills sharpened a bit. I know there's no cement or concrete answer that when, you know, there will be games or anything like that. Yeah. But yeah, we got them onto the field. We get their skills up to a certain level. I know it's not game level kind of things, but, you know, for them not to, you know, be too far off the trail when it comes to actual season again.
Is that something that the guys are enjoying? Is at the end of the day, or at the end of work, at the end of the day, just getting down to the field and having a bit of a run?
Yes, for the guys, I would say for the guys that's closer to the field when it's not training days, they do go to the field to do their thing. For others, they are a bit far from it, so they do their little things at home as well. So yeah, they do keep themselves entertained. At the end of the day, it is rugby. It is something that they love. If they can visualize something in their head for them to do, by all means do it. But when it comes to the coaches and their planning, they are still keeping all of those options open for the players to do.
Have you got some plans for the outreach projects that are coming up? We know that you guys make such an effort, and of course we know that you also involve your players and management in that.
Oh, yes. Last week we sat down as a management group and we got Busy Corner involved again, and I can't stop thanking every show. I will do the exact same thing. They've been in our corner all the time. Busy Corner do their outreach projects as well. We just want to actually look after our community. At the end of the day, in the whole of September, we're going to be looking at about 4 or 5 different shelters. COVID is actually stopping us to do the normal handouts, our noodle runs and all of those little things, because at the end of the day, we are rugby players, but we have families to consider at home as well. So in that regard, we're trying to do things that looking at more stable institutions that is struggling. We got our background checks. There's some of them that are struggling in a sense of weekends where they don't have all 3 meals, be it for the sick, be it for the elderly, be it for the kids at shelters and all of those little things. So that is a direction we are going to be moving at. That is being in September. And once again, we're just waiting for Busy Corner to finalize a little few things. And once we have them fully committed to this, then by all means, we will be sorting that out.
And, Gino, I mean, from a player perspective, there's a lot of buzz at the moment around training. People talking about, can you train or can't you train? Are you guys reaching out to the players? Like, I mean, do you chat to them on WhatsApp? Do you still communicate with them in that manner?
Yes, we do. Not as much as we did it when the first, well, let's say lockdown is still going on. But in the beginning, you know how hard it was to get the guys' mentality right, to keep them fit and all of those little things. I would say they are well trained now mentally. We don't need to go after them and say this, and that. They will then reply to us, say, I have done this, I have done that. And the coaches has been amazed by it because it lessens their work, it lessens their thinking time at home with, they have other things to deal with. So on that regard, yes, we are sticking with still the first phase one thing that they would like to call it, that Western Province told us to do, with regard that COVID and all of these things are still around. So like I said, we do have families to go back to at home and all of those things. So we are happy that the guys are actually doing things on their own. But then again, we do come in the week once or twice to actually do those things with our forwards, do it with our backlines, keep them entertained with at the Easter club, and Western Province is still, taking note of everything that's being done.
And of course, from a management perspective, I mean, the fact that you're doing more than just rugby, it means that you guys as management are obviously always talking to each other, always planning, always discussing what's coming next and just staying in touch.
Oh, yes, no. Before we were not that tight-knit. When lockdown hit, it was just chaos. We did not know where to go and what to do. Thanks to Mr. Sensei JP that, put us through our paces on how to deal with these things in the tight times that we had. So we have, I would say, a nice oiled machine. I won't say it's the fastest on the planet, but we are doing what we need to do. And in management-wise, I can just always take my hat off to them because I would say that everything I throw at them, it's never arguments, never big things. It's how we're going to work with it. It's a plan, so let's stick to it. So, those type of things. In a rugby, when you're playing, you are practicing plan A. You don't want to go to plan B because you're so confident. So that's how we do it with our mentality and management as well.
It's great stuff. It's fantastic to see that you guys are able to talk to each other and stay connected in so many different manners, using so many different forms of communication. Gino, this is great stuff. It's great catching up with you again. We'll leave it at that. We look forward to finding out more, and of course, whatever the next outreach project is that you're putting on the table, and for us to talk about that. And well done to you and the squad.
No. Thanks, JP. Again, this opportunities is just more than welcome through the club as well. We can't be more grateful. I would just, out of everything, I would just say to all the other clubs that's under Western Province, just continue doing what they're doing. I know things are tight. We're not doing rugby at the moment, but we have community work to do. I don't see, and this is from a personal perspective, I don't see any other coach really stepping up to doing these kind of things. So, to carry the gears that people are still raving about, that they hope that the Springboks has done and put back into the country. We have to do the chain reaction. We're all playing rugby at the end of the day, so we would want to actually continue the hard work that we've been doing and then the other clubs has been doing. It's just the face of our community at the moment. So, thank you for that. We carry the hope of it.
No, that's fantastic, Gino, and we take our hat off to you and the squad. There we go, folks. Gino Topley, M&R officer at Titans Rugby Football Club, and if they're not busy with a training, they're busy with an outreach project, one of the other, if not both, always. And it's great to see that that they're so active as a management structure and active as a club in general. Really incredible stuff from Titans Rugby Football Club. Folks, that's a wrap from us then again this evening, and we'll stay to you, of course, stay safe out there, and we'll see you again next week, same time, same place. Have a fantastic rugby weekend. Bye-bye.